symbols. You may see a few of these questions on the SAT, just like the statistics. It's not a major part, but the College Board really wants to test your knowledge on your mathematical skills. And they're, little sneaky, and they insist on putting these weird non-mathematical things into the problems to try to confuse you. But if you go slowly and take it step by step, it's just like doing algebra. It reminds me of functions a little bit, but let's just dive right into a couple of example problems and we'll get going. I was reading a tip on strange symbols in SAT math, and they almost said that the left side of the equation is like a recipe. So we'll say Q prime is the recipe. And then the right side of the equation, which is this 3Q minus 3, are the instructions to that recipe. So whatever we see Q prime, we are doing basically the function 3Q minus 3. So if we have inside these parentheses, if we have 2 prime, that's equal to 3 times 2 minus 3. So 3 times 2 is 6, minus 3 is 3. So 2 prime is equal to 3. And now we have to take the prime of that because that's inside the parentheses. So if we plug that in for 2 prime, I'll do it over here, different color. We have 3 inside the parentheses and prime. So if we use this function again, we now have 3 times 3 minus 3. 3 times 3 is 9 minus 3, and we should get an answer with a value of 6. A second problem on strange symbols, where we have a and b equals the square root of b minus a. Now, again, these have no mathematical value, but one thing that I like to do, because you see in this side a comes first and it comes second on the right side, just be careful. Don't let them switching the order fool you. So one thing that helps me with these problems is to write these directly underneath over here. So if I transfer this over, so essentially a corresponds with 16 and b corresponds with p if we write it underneath. So when we rewrite this, we have the square root of b minus a equals 9. Let me erase this just so we could see it a little bit. So again, we said this is a and this is b. So if we plug in for b, that corresponds with p. So we're going to have the square root of p minus a, which is going to be 16, equals 9. Now we just have to do a little algebra. Add 16 to both sides. We have the square root of p equals 25. Don't think, right, this is 5. If there's a fill in, don't let that fool you. Since it's a square root, we have to square both sides, and we get p equals 625.